Um, Ambo. Asante sana, President.
Thank you.
Yeah, I belong to the continent. I'm an African son of the soil. I'm very thankful for the invite from the President and the team Yanga to bring me over here to come experience Tanzania in a different way. But I must also thank the important dignitaries here, the VP, the media, you guys, the whole staff, and your guest, President from Uganda, our friends. Yeah, and everybody addressed and all the protocols respected. Yeah, it's an honor for me to be part of the Wiki Wananchi. It's an honor, to be honest. It's a good opportunity because for the last 21 years I've been heavily involved in football every day, every week, you know. So now I found the month free, and how nice and honorable it is to be invited in Tanzania. Thank you, President. I've always been in Tanzania. I think it's the fourth time or third time I've been in Tanzania, but I've come here in different roles. 3 times I came here for football, and all I've been doing is the airport, the hotel, this training pitch, and the stadium. So now I'm coming to see Tanzania different. Of course, I've been in Tanzania. I was here last year with my family, but we were in Zanzibar, and then I had to bring them over. While telling the President, I had to bring them over to the mainland so that they must experience Tanzania in a different way. Because when you're in Zanzibar, we're having fun a lot. It's all about the beach and the ocean. But when you come to the mainland, you learn about the culture, the history of Tanzania. And I brought my family here. And we even went to the museum. We were sharing the message with the President so that you come here and you know where we are, because I'm from South Africa. And Tanzania has been big brothers to us. You know, politically, that most of the South African politicians who really gave us an opportunity to have a free South Africa were based here. And when I got this invite to be here, it's not all about football. It's about also respecting the land that has given us an opportunity in South Africa to have the freedom that we have. And Tanzania played a very big role. So it's not all about football, life first and then the football after. So I want to thank everybody here for being around and coming to listen to us. Well, for me, the most important thing is the week of Mwananchi, to experience it differently, to share the space with Yanga in a different way, where we touch important things. I've been briefed about the things that we're gonna do today, and I think first of all is you guys here, and then I see the little boys kicking the ball around. So there's a lot of social responsibility that Yanga is doing. It's not all about football. It's about showing that they care. You know, I'm happy to be part of that program, not only the program of going to the match.
So you informed, yeah. No, you can use the two of them.
Two of
this
them.
is for the TV.
Okay, good. Yeah, yeah, and of course, the main thing, the game, I think we all want to see what happens, but I've just congratulated the coach here, assistant coach, for unbelievable season that they had. They won the treble. If I'm not mistaken, I hope my facts are right, but I know that they won the league. I know they won the cup also. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, and
The charity.
the charity. Yes. So it's a treble. I was telling the coach, I said, in my life I won the treble 3 times. I remember the first treble I won with my former team, Mamelodi Sundowns. It had the Super Africa Super Cup, it had the Champions League, and it had the league. So after that, Mr. Coach, after that I was under pressure because what else do you have to do? You have raised the standards very high and high expectations, you know. And you can always do better, because if you don't do better, then it means you haven't improved. So it's a very, very difficult situation to be put on as a coach. But why not? Let's push the boundaries. Let's get whatever we can get to win, and bring the spirit of Yanga, and bring them back. I think some of you, the journalists who are really following the game, I was surprised to see the turn up from the airport and the streets of the celebrations of the supporters of Yanga was unbelievable. I had to retweet about it. If you remember, I don't know when was it, to say this is the spirit of football, this is how you celebrate success and victories, and was unbelievable for the world to know, you know, because I know there's a big rivalry here in the country in terms of football, but there's a rivalry anywhere in the world. I come from a team, one of the biggest teams, I think the biggest team, you all know that, in the continent. And you know the rivalry between Ahly and Zamani. I've been in those games about 6 times, and it has been so big that you ask yourself, how big can it be? And also the rivalry of going to Esperance, Tunis, and go there and win. The rivalry of going to Morocco in Wydad and we go there and win. You know, and the rivalry of going to Algeria, where you face Satif, you face USMA, you face all these big clubs, and you go there and win. You go to Raja and you go there and succeed. So I've been blessed to have traveled all these spaces in my life, and yes, thanks God that the little bit of achievements we have achieved, we can never be boastful of, but we need to be grateful of what football has given us and given me as an African child, because most of the time Africa is led by Europeans, and it's always good when the Africans win. I think you won with an African coach,
Yeah,
if I'm not
sure.
mistaken. Tunisian is African, you know. So Africa must look after Africa, and we have a lot of talent and potential in Africa. We need to believe in Africa, because most of the time we believe we don't have. But yeah, I've won most of the titles in Africa, and I'm African, you know. And I was the first African, I can say sub-Saharan also, African coach since 1904, of the establishment of Ahly, that I've stepped in that role. And for the last 2 years, I think we've got everything that Ahly hasn't achieved in the last 6-7 years. We went to the 2 World Cups. We beat Palmeiras, the strongest team from South America, CONMEBOL, that represents Argentina, Brazil. I think you know all the big players who are coming from there. And we went to Asia. We played Al Hilal, the champions of Asia. We managed to beat them. We beat the champions of Central American continent, which is represented by Mexico. We managed to do that, but I've always been stopped by the champions of Europe. You know, I lost to Bayern Munich. I think you saw it, I think 2-0 and all that. That's the last step that I would have really, really loved, to do in my inter-club career, go to the final of the World Cup. But the rest, we have managed to achieve the Champions League. We've been, for the last 5 Champions League, we've been there for 4 times, and we've won it 3 times. So it's really a blessing for an African coach to do that. We've got 2 bronze medals. We brought the 2 more medals for Africa in the World Cup as the 3rd best team in the world. We have achieved all those things, and we don't have to talk about the leagues and the Champions League. You have the whole history about it. So it's really an honor and a pleasure for me to be part of this team, the history of this team. It's a big team. Yanga is not only a big team in Tanzania, we all know it, in Africa. And now they're stepping into CAF, and I know the really tough stories about CAF. And easy coach, just win at home, you should be okay. You know, that's the recipe. Win at home, and somewhere, somehow, outside, if you're in a group, if you can get 2 draws, that's it. You got 9 points for home. You got 2 draws away, 11, you're through. Okay, so you don't have to win everything. The president will forgive you if you lose the other 2 games. You know. Yes, that's the recipe. So I've been in that space for the last 12 years, and I know how difficult it is. But I just want to say thank you everybody for being here, for us to listen to me, and obviously we should not take away the week of Mwananchi. That's why we are here. And the other things that the president was speaking that I'm doing, I can talk about them later, but I want to respect the space first about the week of Mwananchi. So probably with few channels who wants to know what I'm doing now, because now I'm on special leave. I have decided to terminate my contract with Ahly. I had 2-year contract. We extended after we winning all those things, but I felt that with achievements that we have done in the last 2 years, and missing home, and also taking a break, because 21 years into this thing is not a child's play every time. And you must know, in my space, from Mamelodi Sundowns to where I am with Ahly, it's been really 12 years of playing a game every 3rd day. Just imagine, every 3 days you have a football game, and then you travel also. It has been too much for me. It has been too hectic. Yes, it was not nice for me to leave Ahly. I think you're following the social media. They are not happy that I left. But I said, inshallah, we meet again. So I had to take a break, and this is how I'm spending my break. Thank you, President.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Alright, thank you, Pitso. Nadhani sihitaji kutafsiri, si ndio jamani? Tuko tayari kuuliza maswali. Tungeomba kwa kikao hiki tujikite ndani ya yale ambayo amezungumza. So I'm requesting the journalists to remain within the brief speech that you've had, remarks that you've made, and since we might have a chance to continue later.
Asante sana. Yes, important questions and good questions, of course, and related to football. I will start with my brother there. If you can just put it on silent, maybe. I think they're calling you from home.
Someone, then Twitter, I don't know. Twitter space, yeah.
Yeah, I think that our brother there was asking me about, it's not a question as he said, it was just a comment. Improvement of African football and youth program. Yeah, as an African, I have realized that the continent needs support, and I'm talking about that because I come from the program. You must understand, if you see those little boys playing football, I come from that background. I don't come from any academy in Europe and all that. No, I come from exactly that boy that you see there. That has been my line of football, and I've played for Orlando Pirates, and I've played for Mamelodi Sundowns, and I've played in Greece, in Europe, and also in Belgium, and I've played also in the Middle East. One of the most successful teams in the Middle East, especially in Qatar, Al Sadd, I think you know the biggest club that Abedi Pele was playing. Romario was playing there. So I've been fortunate to be in those kind of spaces, and I played for my country. I'm the first player to play and coach South Africa, my home soil, you know. So I have realized that in terms of coaching, I've realized that the continent needs support, and we have to respect the Europeans because they've led this way. They've been in this program for long, and also you must also understand they have the financial resources. The countries are stronger as a country. They can support this, and I've been fortunate that some of my coaching education, I've spent time, months in Holland, and learning in Feyenoord how they do their youth structures. So I've got that experience, and I've also been developed by the DFB, German Football Association, and I've learned about their youth structures, and I've learned about senior football coaching. So with that background and coming to coach Mamelodi Sundowns and fighting with the North Africans and also the East Africans, the Mazembes, the Simbas and all that, I have came to conclusion of looking at my story from the way it started to where I am today. And that's one of the things I'm doing at the moment. I have coached players like Steven Pienaar from South Africa. I've coached Benny McCarthy now. He's been appointed as the coach for Man United. He's one of the players I've coached. And I have known their strength and their weaknesses. And even myself when I was playing in Europe. So I've realized that it's not that Tanzania is not good if you produce a top player like, what's his name? Yeah, Samata. I played against him and he scored against us, you know. Scored against me, I don't forget that, when he was playing for Mazembe. So but we finally defeated Mazembe in the CAF Super Cup, you know. I can also boast about that. And the president watched that match in South Africa, by the way, for your information. So anyway, to cut the long story short, I've realized my shortfalls when I was playing, when these boys were playing, to say, why are the Europeans ahead of us? And sometimes you say why teams like Senegal, Egypt, Morocco, Tunisia, why are they always dominant? Algeria. I mean, if you look at the CAF Super Confederation Cup and the Champions League, you make your research, you know, as a journalist. For the last 5, 7 years or 8 years, which part of Africa has won those kind of tournaments? And it's a fact, and I'm humbled to be part of the last 5 years, to be four times in the finals and winning it 3 times. So in the last 5 years, I can boldly say I've been there and I've won the medals in that 5 years. So, but to come back to your story is, the shortfalls is we need to train our children here exactly the same way as the Europeans develop their children. It is, some of the things are not, it's not about the money. Of course you need financial resources and facilities to pay the coaches to be able to do that. But you need also the education to know. It doesn't matter, a doctor from Tanzania is the same doctor as in England. Okay? We study the same human body. So what we need is the curriculum to give them the right information, what to do. So one of the programs that I have started in South Africa is PMSS, which is the Pitso Mosimane Soccer Schools. I've long wanted to do that, but I didn't have the chance because I've been busy every 3 days, as the guy was saying it. So I've started that by putting football first in the schools. Why in the schools? All the children are at school. All the children go to school, the young children. And that's where you start. You can't miss them at the school. At club level, we have an opportunity to miss them. And we can only take as much. You know, Yanga, Simba, Azam, and then can only take as much. You can't take a lot. But look at the entire country. There's so many children who are left behind who don't play football, not because they don't want, but because there's no program, they cannot be involved. So what I've done in South Africa, and hopefully maybe we'll put it in Tanzania, but that's why I'm here, to learn from you guys what is the situation. You can't just come here in a country and start doing things without understanding what's happening. So first seek the information, then you can say, or probably we can contribute in this way. So I've realized that the whole entire continent, you must remember, I've been at the biggest, at the highest, at Ahly, where they've won 10 Champions League, I think 4 CAF Super Cups, 4 times in the World Cup. We've won it. They've been 33 times. I mean, you can just mention it's the biggest club, okay? But the biggest club doesn't mean you can't lose to any team. I mean, we were here, we lost to Simba, I think you saw that. So that's football for you. We can lose also to Yanga. But the history remains the history. You know, every team can lose to anybody. I seen Real Madrid losing to Sheriff one time in the Champions League, but you go to Santiago Bernabeu and go see the trophy cabinet and the history, then you respect. Okay, so it has been like that. So I've realized that we don't have the right programs in the continent. Not to say we don't want to do it or we can't do it. We have never shared the information. So the information I got from those places that I qualified from in Germany, in Holland also. So I've came up with a program that I'm busy finishing the manual now. How to train the players from age 3 to 18. Because when we were taught coaching, we were trained the way we were playing. You know what I'm trying to say? But football is not like that. Look at the academic side of the school. You can't train a young child of 5 years or 3 years the same way with the same curriculum, education curriculum of the grade 4, grade 5, grade 3. So you're going to put the right program inside. So that's what I'm doing in South Africa, and hopefully I can come here and contribute at a later stage. So that's why I formed the Pitso Mosimane soccer schools. Because if we deal with the children at the school, when they come to the club at the weekend, they've had few sessions at the schools, and imagine how many sessions can they have outside the club. So the club will give them maybe two sessions maybe before them, but when they're at the school they get another 2, so we can make 4. So we start to develop them the same way as the Europeans. So that's Pitso Mosimane soccer schools that I'm doing in South Africa, and it's amazing that how they have received. And sometimes we say in South Africa is a developed country. Yes, maybe as a country, but we're talking football. We didn't have that program of how to train the coaches, to train the children with the age appropriate training, which is the size of the pitch, which is the size of the ball, how many minutes you train, what you address on a 3 to 5 year old. You cannot say put the same program to an 8-year-old. So we didn't have that information. So I'm busy gathering that. The manual is coming out. You will see it. You will first see it. So that's how I believe first we must do to develop the continent. And we don't need money for that. Okay, you need a little bit of the coaches to be paid at the school, obviously, and to also to prepare them, to train them, because my program, I train the coaches what to do on the pitch, and I have somebody who monitors them. And I don't want anybody who come from Europe to come to see my program at the school and say, what is this Pitso is using his name and his profile and he's not doing the right thing. So I know I'm doing the right thing because my research is extensive. And I've gone to Europe to understand what they're doing, and we can do that in Africa. So that's my contribution to my beloved continent and in South Africa. And then we're doing, somebody asked about how can we help and contribute to Africa, because I've been in that space for the last 12 years, in the Champions League. So how do we do that? I have a program called the Master Class, and hopefully we'll bring it again here in Tanzania. The Master Class, we did a pilot one, the first one, in South Africa with a team that is qualified for CAF, Royal AM. You'll see them, they'll be in the Confederation Cup. So I am sharing, I've got my team that have been traveling. You must know my coaches. I've got 2 coaches with me and an analyst. They've been with me for the last 12 years. It's not funny. I travel with them wherever I go. So we have a master class where we share the information of what has contributed to us to have won 18 trophies in our career. And that includes the World Cup, that includes the CAF Champions League, CAF Super Cup. We've been also in Confederation Cup. So we're sharing that information and what happened, how did we do it, and where were our pitfalls, because we were not all successful. I think I've lost 6 cup finals. I can talk about 17 or 18 that I've won, but I've lost 6. So that really shows that there's nothing guaranteed. You will learn some of the things that you didn't do right and do them right. So that's what I am doing now for my continent, and I don't mind to be coming over here, because even Uganda people are already asking us to say, Coach, you're the only African, you understand the kind of pitches we come from, the backgrounds where we're coming from, because the Europeans don't know that. They come to coach and they go. So I live here. I'm in the continent. So I'm sharing that information, and it doesn't mean that we know everything. I'm just telling you what happened to us and how we got it right and how we got it wrong. So the programs must be really respected. If you follow, last night, my former team, Ahly, has made a decision that they will play with the youth teams, not with the senior team, to finish the league. It's very interesting for me, because some of the things that created that situation, I've told Ahly about them, but now they know. Okay, and sometimes when it comes from a European, everybody will listen. Africa gets excited. Okay, when it comes from an African, Africans don't know nothing. No, we know. We learn quickly, we learn fast. Africans can learn. So we learn quickly and we learn fast, and it's amazing. But anyway, I don't want to go there. But it's the issue of playing 3 games a game every 3 days. So it means you have about, in 8 days or 9 days, you have 3 games. So it's to the coaches also, as much as you are looking at the CAF, I don't forget to win the league here, because you know what happened when we won the league. We want those celebrations again. So it's a bit tough. So I'm sharing that information of how I've succeeded and how I've also not succeeded. So those are the things that I call it the master class. And I'll go to Africa, because I see the demand. Africa says, tell us about your stories, because you're the only one who's won the Champions League more than everybody in the continent. What happened? How did you do it? And especially with different teams. Yeah, I don't know if I've addressed everything. The biggest event, why are you here? Of course, to share the big week of the citizens with you guys, and for me to experience that, and share also the chance and opportunity with these young children who are here, because that was me years back. So, and also to respect the country as Tanzania, and also to respect the younger batch that has been there for all these years. Yeah. What impact does this have to do to the fans? That's the question. What do I think? I think the president can answer that much better. What impact does this week mean to the fans of Tanzania? I've seen the passion of Tanzania. I've seen the fans. I've been at the stadium. I've seen the The first time I was in Tanzania, I came to watch a match before the big stadium. There was a stadium next to the big stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still exists.
Still, yes.
I saw Yanga play Simba. And there was a problem. I think the match didn't finish or whatever, but it was about tear gas and all that. Those who were long in the game can remember that day. It was like a Sekafa tournament. It was unbelievable. And I came here and my brother from Uganda, that's where I got Dennis Onyango from Tanzania in that stadium. I signed Dennis Onyango immediately from that tournament. So I've seen the passion. I've seen the passion when my team came over here, my former team came play against Simba, and I've seen the images of Yanga, Simba, the derby. So I think that the impact that this country has, and I think if you're not aware, I think you're amongst the top 4 forces leagues now in the continent. South Africa is good also, the league is good. Egypt is a tough league. Tunis is a good league, same as Morocco has a good league. But you also now impacting on the West Africa. I'm watching the movements that the West Africans now are flocking more to your country. Why? It's because now the football is improved. You have invested a little bit more in your football. You take the CAF competitions very serious, and look at how your stadiums are getting full. So I hope you're right about this, that we're watching from outside. What you are covering is important and is big, and look how the football is developing and growing. And probably to share some ideas that why we don't have South African players also to come into Tanzania, and why we don't Tanzanian players going to South Africa. We can share that information later, especially with the master class. That's why I formed that. So we can have the movements. There's a lot of Tanzanians in South Africa, and there's a lot of South Africans here, and especially in our history, you guys hosted us, you guys helped us to get our liberation, so we can also give back. So I hope I've answered almost everything. I don't know if anybody is not happy that I didn't speak about his question, but to the program director, I don't know.
No, we're very happy, and we'll have to move on to the...
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Itabidi nishike pia, si ndio? Jamani, tunawashukuru sana.
Mwaka huu ukishindwa kuitwa mama au baba mwenye nyumba, umejitakia wewe mwenyewe. Embu fikiria tu, Josen Traders tuna kibubu na tunapokea malipo kwa miezi 3 kupitia akaunti yetu ya benki. Baada hapo unachukua vifaa vyako vya ujenzi. Usafiri kwa Dar es Salaam ni bure, na kwa mikoani kampuni tutakuchangia nauli. Ushindo wewe tu. Tunapatikana Buguruni mkabala na stendi ya daladala ya Buguruni Chama. Kwa maelezo zaidi wasiliana nasi kwa namba 0713155352. Josen Traders for your building solutions.
Unajiuliza namna gani utapata taarifa za michezo zenye uhakika kwa timu zipendazo? Ni rahisi sana. Mpenja TV ipo kwa ajili ya kukupa matukio yote makubwa kutoka kwenye maeneo mbalimbali. Mashabiki, wachezaji, viongozi wa michezo, hapa ndio kwao. Sasa tembelea chaneli yetu ya YouTube kupitia simu yako au laptop, andika Mpenja TV, ukutana na taarifa kibao za uhakika. Kisha bofya subscribe uwe mwanafamilia, na bofya alama ya kengele upate taarifa kila inapoingia. Na pia fuatilia updates za taarifa zetu kupitia Instagram kwa kuandika Mpenja TV _ Mpenja TV, tunazungumza michezo.
Wow!